Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kakorash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of the video is A Microchip in Your Hand, Close the Book. And ultimately, that's a saying that goes back, that I heard from the elder apostles, right? Which pretty much means you hit the hammer on the nail, right? You hit it on the head, basically. You got like straight to the point, and there's nothing else to read or say. And this video right here, posted by Redacted, says a microchip in your hand, right? And what we say today is close the book, because the elder apostles, right? Our elders, the men before us, and their elder apostles, were I don't know, Slack. I don't know if Albo Bivens, I believe he did. I have to double check on that regarding the micro C hip, but I know our older apostles have been pushing the micro C hip, going way back. All right, and now we have your everyday American talking about this. This is Habakkuk 2:1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved." See, and we're the prophets, and we're on our watch, right? And it's we have entered into other men's labors, right? I can only imagine, I guess the feeling of how the elder apostles feel to see, now how much it's being spoke about, because they were only watch, ridicule, mock, even the men that have entered into labors, things like go get a job, things like that. When you're preaching out on the street corners, which mockers and things, I also took a part of, as in I was on the receiving end of that, go get a job and things like that, and all the rest of it. All right, but we have taught these things and preached these things, and now, which I'm about to get into, is not tarrying anymore. It's here, right? Habakkuk 2:1, it says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh shall answer me, and set a right division, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, that the end shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Right, and the vision is the prophecies, right? And what we're going to get into is this final test, right? Which is the M.O.T.B. All right, and how it's here now, basically in this video. This Revelation 3:10 says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." Right, and this temptation is going into a trial period. All right, and it's going to come upon the whole earth, and that time is, coming where Esau, Edom, through the left-hand side of the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shai, is going to allow Jacob's trouble to take place, right? A time like never before. And during that time, you're going to be given an option to either trust in Yahweh or trust in the wicked, right? And that's that trial. Are you going to stand for Yahweh Bashim Shai, or are you going to ride, along with Esau? All right. Revelations 3:10, it says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown." Right. And I was watching the elder brothers over there, GMS Tampa, their live midweek class sit down, and towards the end of the video, they said something, basically about, basically put, when the scripture say, "Therefore put on the elect," right? That's what they was talking about. And I started thinking about the garments, just knowing that who you are, that the Most High Yahweh Bashim shall supping with you, right? And that you got your garments. scriptures talk about keeping your garments, right? And I was saying kingly garments, kingly garments, because you have to know and walk in confidence, right? As the scriptures say, right? Where is that at? Wisdom of Solomon. So they hacked this and they took away the prophet, and then they fixed this, and now look, all right, right. Prophet means hidden. They hid this information. The scriptures say, because we want to M.O.T.B, but the scriptures say that he went out to deceive the nations, the wicked. Going to Revelations 20:7, right after he was loose from that prison, he went out to deceive the nations. Right, First Maccabees 3:48 goes to the fact that he paint the likeness of his images in our Bible, right? So this is information they try to hide because it gives gives you more understanding of what we went through in the fall away, right? And then First and Second Maccabees goes into the fight to actually keep the faith, right? Basically slaughtering our own people that's going off because of that fall away, but eventually we all fell away anyway, right? So they tried to hide this, right? And that's what the prophet means, but we got it, So wisdom of Solomon, going back to the fact that we need to be bold, is it 2? Or 5? It's not here. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, it says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors." Right? And we're that, Lord willing, we're that righteous, and we are the righteous, right? All of the Israelites, it's just some of us are wicked, right now, right? The Most High Yahweh has blinded them, all right? But in the kingdom, we're all going to be righteous because the 2/3 that die on this side is going to be born back through the righteous seed, the elect in the kingdom. But here it says, we're standing in great boldness, right? And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're standing on our own 2 feet, boldly proclaiming what's written in the scriptures, boldly proclaiming that we are the children of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? And that these devils, right, they lie, right? What is devil? Deceiver, right? They went out and deceived the nations, and we're a nation. They deceive us too. They told us that we're just these different bywords, right? And we don't matter, and all this, so many other hurtful things that they said to us, right? Which they're about to pay for now, because we're at the end. But so Revelation 3:10, it says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation," right? Which is that trial, that test, which is going to be Jacob's trouble, where all hell is breaking loose, and they offer you what? The Microchip, all right, that they're now talking about 3 days ago. It says, "Shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take that crown." What is that? The Holy Spirit, the garments, right? You're basically having the word, knowing that the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is supping with you. Feeling and knowing that you have that hedge of protection, because that's faith, right? You're gonna know the Most High is with you, and you're gonna really know it when He do more miraculous miracles. Because we go through our day-to-day life, and we can see the Most High dealing, protecting us. Sometimes you catch it, sometimes you don't. Just like the old apostle Paul says, we don't know what the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is protecting us from, and it's a lot. He's protecting us from a lot, right? I know the one brother M.O.T.B, he mentioned something where he said he was driving, M.O.T.B over there in LA. He said he was driving, he pulled over, he seen a vehicle pull over the same time he pulled over. The vehicle pulled over also, he didn't know what the hell was going on. But that's the type of stuff that the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is protecting us from. Right? We don't know who's out here watching these videos and upset, or whatever the case may be. But, the wicked, Esau, Edom, definitely wants to do away with us. All right, but we good, we're covered. Trust and believe that. So this is the hour of temptation, which is the Microchip, which we'll get. I'm gonna play a little bit of this video right here.
Well, a few years ago here on Redacted, we covered Sweden's bizarre microchip implanting story and their plan, which would have everyday citizens opting to have microchips implanted right into their bodies, right into their hands, the RFID or near field communications chips, or NFC, basically the size of a grain of.
Mom, there you go. All right, so look, you know, I mean, I'm happy about it. Even when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a video. The elder apostle Tahar was like a marathon about the M.O.T.B because it's here in the A. That goes into what they're feeling, right? The emotion that they're feeling about how close it's at the door. Basically, we it's no longer a Tarian. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a video on this M.O.T.B. I seen the brothers doing a video on it too, and I know I was gonna do a video on it. But so I pulled this up and I sat down and I would listen, and I immediately got happy. I really started like right here when this chick was talking. She told me she not worried about it. First thing I said, "Oh, this is the Most High. This is the Most High. Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. You're gonna be worried about it, And what I went into, or what I said to myself, was the fact that, well, basically, the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Awashai woke us up. Esau Edom thought it was all good. That we'll never come to our senses. That we'll never find this information out because they beat it up out of us. But when the elder apostles were teaching this, right, in New York, men rolled up and said, we paid millions of dollars, right, to keep this information from you. How did you figure it out? Right. And it was the Lord Yahweh Bashmi that did that. So my thinking was that, look, they got the chip right here. And, they got all the testing going on, and it's been in people's body, and they're fine, and it's all good. But when the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shai flip that switch, right? When he opens that next door, you gonna get it, and you gonna feel the way about it. Let me see. I know the one in 16. Let me see. So yeah, right here. All right, so it says doom for the worshippers of the beast. Revelations 14 and 9, it says, and the third angel called them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, just like Redacted just pointed out, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Bashmi, which is poured out without mixture, right into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Why? Because Yahweh Shai pulls up at the end with the angels, right, to beam up his elect, pursuant to Matthew chapter 24, around verse 30, right? Because America is going to be burnt with fire, right? We don't know what's going to happen to the other ones outside of America that take the chip. They could be, clipped with a laser beam from one of the chariots, or however the Most High may do it. But America, you definitely done. But not only that, you're gonna be walking around looking like a cancer patient, right? Because you're gonna get some boils and things on you, and that's when the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shai allow that thing to happen because it's Him, right? The scriptures say, He does not. By number has He numbered the time, or a measure has He measured the time, right? He does not store nor mix them, right, until said thing be fulfilled. Roughly paraphrasing the scriptures. So He's not gonna allow this noisome and gruesome sword to get on you until what He wants to be fulfilled. So Esau's out there, he got the chip already. People's walking around every day with it like nothing. So he thinks it's all good. Revelation 16:1, it says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh Bashmi upon the earth. And the first went, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image, which is one and the same. Right? To worship his image means you have taken the M.O.T.B. All right, and you're gonna get a noisome and grievous sore, right? Which goes into like a canker, right? Boils and different things, and it's grievous, right? So that's a big major problem. It's not gonna be something light because the scriptures say, keeping the commandments is not grievous, right? Which it ain't, but this is going to be grievous, and I can imagine it says full of labors, annoyances, hardship, annoyances. In the physical sense, diseased or blind, all right? Evil, wicked, bad, bringing toils, annoyances, perils, causing pain and trouble. So this was going to happen at the point in time when the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shai allows that thing to happen. Right now, it may not be happening. Even you tell our people like, oh, don't eat pork and all of that because it's bad for you and it's against the law. He was like, my grandma ate pork her whole life. She over there smoking a cigarette right now. It don't matter. All right. It don't matter. Most High do what he want, when and how he want to do it. Okay. So yeah, that was my first thought when that chick said, I'm not gonna be worried about it, but you'll see.
Grain of rice, and thousands of Swedes took the plunge. And since the story first published, many more thousands have taken the plunge. The idea is that the chips would speed up your users' daily life, make their lives more convenient, access their homes, office, gyms, just swipe it right on your door or keypad and you're right in there. Here is one of the individuals lining up to get one of the chip implants, and just being able to get it poked right in the hands. Now, when the program started, the demand was off the charts. There were waiting lists. Companies could insert these things. They couldn't insert these things fast enough. And then shortly after it won high praise.
Man, what I should have did was find a throwback to the elder apostles talking about this thing, because now it's being talked about, but the same images that they're showing, the right hand of the forehead, it's the same thing that other apostles were saying, from the beginning.
Companies could insert these things. They couldn't insert these things fast.
To show you that this is what the scriptures was talking about the whole time. This is what John the Revelator seen. This digital device being put into your skin, and it's here. I mean, man, you gonna realize that more and more, right? And you gonna know. I think I heard the Elder Paul Star says one time, you gonna know that you're taking a chip when you're taking it, right? Because the word, ain't no one is gonna go without knowing. The word is gonna go to the four corners of the earth. When you're taking that thing, you're gonna know exactly what it is, right? It's the M.O.T.B. But you're gonna be faced with famine, starvation, killings, no order, anarchy, and all of that. And then the government come tomorrow, we can save you. You just take this chip right here. That's how it's gonna go down.
Enough. And then shortly after it won high praise from the World Economic Forum.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to track people and they let you.
Exactly.
That's on them.
So World Economic.
Yeah. See? So they talking about tracking. That's what it's for. Right? If you understand how Esau is trying to use it, right? Esau wants to be like God. He wants to be like the Most High. He wants to control everything that you got going on. And ultimately, he wants to take you away, right? This goes for the Israelites. He wants to take you away from the Father. He wants to make you his slave forever, right? But the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shah has reserved men, I'll say, to not take this thing, the avant-garde, right? Those of us who know exactly what we're involved in and what it might take, whether it be martyrdom, all right, however it goes down, for us to stand, right, and get the victory, which we already have the victory, right? We just plan it out, right? Just like Yahushua came and died for the nation, right? Now we're able to do what we're doing right now, right, and not be cast away, all right? And we just get into this one little push right here, all right? And so Esau lose, he lost. This is Revelations 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Because if you don't follow along with this, ultimately you're gonna die, right? Because new system, you're gonna need this device to buy and sell, to do trade, even nations trade, all type of thing, cattle, goods, car parts, all of that is all going digital, right? So it's like you know how they call third world countries and things like that not fully developed, right? They're not really on the grand stage like that because they don't offer nothing. They can't really do much. That is gonna be like that with this chip type of situation. All right. So it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? Which is the charagma, which is the RFID chip that they're showing in this video here. All right. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of his beast or the name of his name, right? And all that just means that you taking that chip and putting it into your body, right? You got Elon Musk working on a Neuralink, right, for the brain implant, right? And you have this device here, and it's for total control. And you're going to use the buy and sell, open up your cars and your doors and things like that. You go to the hospital, they're going to just scan you and, you know, get all your information off of you, your badge for when you go to work. But none of that's going to happen, of course. This because it's a test. This, you know, Esau has his own ambitions and plans and things. The Most High got him like in a trap, you know. But we're telling you what's actually happening. All right, this is Psalms 2:1. It says, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, Yahweh Bashman Shai, and against his anointed, saying," right? So these devils and heathen came together to try to set themselves up a kingdom, right? And how they could control the world. And it ends with that the Most High giving them the ultimate plan, what they think is like the greatest plan ever, you know, thought of, which is a digital system where everyone is tracked and traced. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shine, against his anointed, saying, "Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shine shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them with his sore displeasure." Ultimately, yes, because that's what's going to happen. Like I said, they're not going to do all that extra, you know, because once again, we, the whole elect, will not take this chip. Some of us will be martyrs, and the rest of us, you know, will have spiritual power and, you know, just going about our day, you know, whatever time, you know, the Archangel Michael will be here, right? We're going to be comforted, you know, making merry and joyful, right? So there's no civilization after, you know, this man. Well, you know, our kingdom is next, but once, you know, once he brings this shutdown and this chip and all that, is over with. It's done. It's just a trial. After that comes down to missiles. That's the most shortest pleasure that he's going to put on these devils ultimately, right? That's why you got World War III brewing in the background. All right, then them talking about this is the greatest reset ever, the coming economic collapse, which is just Jacob's trouble, right? A time where you only have two options, to, you know, lean on Yahweh Bashim Shai or lean on the devil. So as you can see, this is the Most High is doing. All right, it all fits right here with Bible prophecy. Again, the wicked thinks this is their way out, right? Because they're leaning on left-hand sources that our power has sent to them, right, to deceive them, you know, thinking that this is their way to do it. Anyway, Job 20:22. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in scrapes." This is a position of difficulty. That's what he's in right now. This man don't have no control. The Most High is going to turn this thing up on him. All right. "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in scrapes. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." This is the laborers. All right. And that's what's happening now. You know, all these different agendas that they're trying to put out, these people are against it, right? Individuals are knowing about the chip, warning about it, telling you that it's this microchip, you know, and all of that. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, and this is what he wants is to have everyone chipped and basically live on life from there. So when he's about to do that, it's going to be close the curtains, right? And ultimately, you know, I would say close the books, but there's far more to be done. You know, you got Obadiah 1:18, right? You got, you know, us living out the kingdom, getting the new bodies and all of that, coming back down, putting these devils into captivity, So there's still more to play out once the nuclear missiles hit. The story goes on. All right. Job 20:23 says, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Bashmi Shah shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So this is the missiles, right? America is his weapon, right? Going to the banking elites, the Rothschilds, right, and all the rest of the banking families. They used America as their weapon to push their agendas, and from there they was able to set up shop, have the dollar currency and all of that, and just whisper into the ear of all these other nations and get them on board with the plan. It says, it is drawn and cometh out of the body, yet a glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All right. It says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Right. So this is the destruction of the nuclear missiles. It says, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from Yahweh Bashmi Shai, and the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Right. And ultimately, we're revealing the secrets of Esau Edom. All right. All the wrong that he's done, hiding the scriptures from us and whatnot. Let me see what this says in M.O.T.B. The heavens will reveal their guilt, and the earth will testify against them. Things like not keeping the land Sabbath, right? The land is polluted, the people are polluted, the animals and whatnot, everything is polluted, right? This devil, has done evil. John 10:10 says, the thief comes not, but to still kill and destroy, right? And it's evident that that's the case. All right. So, just getting back to the point, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in scrapes. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Bashmi Shah shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he's eating. So he won't, get to live out his fantasy, of having everyone chipped and actually controlling everything. All right. Revelations 13:16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, or the number of a man, and his number is 603.6, which goes into 666. And this devil is tied to that 666. It's all, in his all his programming and Disney Channel and everything. People find the little 66 in the clouds and all of that, right? And that's ultimately the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shah on the left hand side. With these these different demons, basically telling this devil that's the move that he needs to do, and all of that. All right, let's watch some more of this.
Economic Forum's like, hey, this is great. And if you read the article, the World Economic Forum piece on this, they even point out that's no big deal. It's just like a simple, like a slight sting in when you get it. No big deal.
Imagine telling our youngest who hates shots, that you're just going to get this chip forever. It's only going to hurt for a little bit.
And we'll be able to track everything that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flash forward to 2026, and now these and where are things at with this program? We wanted to check in on this program, see how it's being floated for digital IDs, digital currency, how it's competing with the incredibly popular bank ID system in Sweden. It's very, very popular. It's almost at 100% usage, the bank ID system in Sweden, 100%, up to 8.7 million.
And you see this, the Most High, got these devils thinking that it's all good. That everything is good, is all good for you. It's going according to plan. Job 18:5, it says, yet the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. Ultimately, that's what's happening. The scriptures say, in Revelations 12:12, that he's coming down with great wrath because he had but a short time. Like I said, the Most High is control of the time, right? And when things happen, when they don't happen. And what this devil is seeing is that he's out of time, right? So he's moving quicker, right? That's why everything that he's doing now is sloppy. His own counsel is casting him down. He doesn't have the time to think anymore. The scriptures in Isaiah 47 says he's weary in the multitude of his counsels, right? Trying to figure this thing out now. You don't have time to set the trap and wait for for the person to get caught or whatever. He has to just come on with it. Job 18:7, it says, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. So much is happening right now. This devil is really losing control. All right. And I believe that the scriptures are faithful and they're true, and you can see it with all hell breaking loose. How he coming so sloppy, saying this and saying that,
Users now across the country. It's basically their dominant digital ID system.
So in his mind, it's good. It's good to go. And the whole system is set up already. All right, it's already ready. Really and truly, everyone's on board. The only people that are like really behind is America, right? If you look at China, the only thing China missing is this chip. Once they get the chip, they good to go. And what's going to happen is, and that's okay. So China, okay. So look at China right now, and they got the social credit score and whatnot, and they're a major player, and everyone's saying who's next, and now they talking about it may be China. But China is locked in. China is juiced in to this digital system. The last thing for China, they got cameras everywhere. They got social credit scores. You already got people put out of society because their social credit score is so low. The only thing they're waiting for now is the chip. So now going back to that Revelations 13, you don't buy or sell without that. If you want to do business with China, guess what you're going to need? That microchip. So and shoot, China and Russia are allied. North Korea there. What you think Iran gonna do? They already using digital currency through the Strait of Hormuz, right? Using anything but the dollar. They on board too. Everyone's on board with it, right? You got the NATO and EU, Canada joining, trying to talk with the NATO and EU, right? You got Nero 47 handling, Venezuela and Cuba and the rest of them. Argentina already juiced up, obviously.
So is there a marriage between like implanting yourself with these chips and using the country's digital ID system? Forget cash, forget everything. It's all digital now, and all they want to do is track you. Well, today we're thrilled to have Maria Z joining us.
And all we can do is warn. All we can do is warn. Like I said, once they roll this thing out here, first of all, the world is about to go through Jacob's trouble. All right, it's all about to be shut down. And what's going to be happening during that process is them rolling out this chip eventually, right? And then America going to get it. Let me get this one. All right. It says Jeremiah 30:6, ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into pelvis. The last for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The he that shall be saved out of it is the elect, the ones that's keeping their kingly garments, right? That's holding fast to what they have, that no man take that crown that's stored up for them in heaven. All right. So there's going to come a time where the family of the word is going to be here. Amos 8. Right? Let me and that time is fastly approaching too. Because mind you, they just started back the war over there. And the last time Iran said, if y'all do something, we're going to cut the cables down here. I remember that. So they got the internet cables over there in Iran that they might cut. in the near future because they're already fighting, you know. So we'll see. But that famine of the word is coming. Listen, when the world shut down, this economic crisis and all of that, all hell gonna be breaking loose. Food gonna be running out and all of that, you know. So at one point in time, out of the Most High is gonna, put the spirit on Elder Post heart to get get a message, or we gonna be in the spirit and know it. We gonna know what's up. Especially if the power just cut. We already know what time it is. Isaiah 33:6. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. All right. And hey, we all have that wisdom and that knowledge, right? Those of us of the elect. But at the again, we know who our older apostles are, right? So that's why I said it like that. But we don't know how it's going to play out. All right. But anyway, that famine of the word is coming. Amos 8:11 says, "Behold, the days come," said the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh, right? And the elder apostles them already said, like, we're not going to be out there, when all hell is breaking. It's just going to make no sense, right? And I would say it's like from past experiences too. When that situation with the 9/11 happened, they got away from that area because they already knew like it was just not the area to be in. Esau still came, trying to do some sneaky stuff. All right. It says, "Behold, the days come," said the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. All right. So you're not going to hear these words telling you what to do and what not to do, right? Because you're gonna want a man of the Lord next to you, as the scriptures say. You're gonna want that person there to be that comfort to you. But the Most High is not gonna allow that to happen. All right, He's not gonna allow you to have that prophet there no more, right? To give you that comfort that you need. It's comforting to hear the truth, right, and to know, right, to be stable. Isaiah 32:1, it says, "Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a very land." So imagine that you're in the desert and you see an oasis. And it's a lot of good things over that you like over there. Food, shelter, water, all the good stuff, right? That's going to be that man, right? And you get a glimpse of that right now when you hear these words. The scriptures say, we are a lovely song to you. Where is that at? Ezekiel. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Ezekiel 33:30, it says, "Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord Yahweh. You take this chip, you're going to be destroyed." All right. "And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after covetousness," right? That just, loving the world, and all this stuff that you think you got here, right? Especially if you go with the woman, Lot's wife, looking back at the city, right? Not seeing what's in front of you though, in front of all of us, because there's a whole lot in front of us, something this city could never, ever, ever give us, right? The scriptures say, in the Most High's hand, there's pleasures forevermore, right? Roughly paraphrasing. So we got pure greatness to look forward to, right? Joy, 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 true joy, right? Clear mind, not getting affected with, evil, wicked thoughts and just a whole bunch of goodness. All right. It says Ezekiel 33:32, "And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not." And when it's come to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. So you're gonna know that a prophet have been among you when you about to take that chip, and you probably hoping that you was like, damn, I wish I had another option, but the most High's not gonna be there's no other options. If the most High's not with you, there's no other options. I've used hey shoot, I don't know, maybe shit, maybe you just die and you don't take the chip. I don't know. But you're gonna wish for the option in that time. You're gonna know. Right? Just like these people know what's up right now. So that famine of the word is coming. It says in Amos 8 and 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shai, shall not find it. Let me make sure this is still popping up. All right, so you're going to try to run and seek the words, and you won't be able to find it because the Most High is not going to allow that thing to happen. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin of Samaria and say, thy God, O Dan, liveth, and the man of Bathsheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. That's going to your idols. You call them different idols and gods, so-called, and all of that. You're going to fall. Ain't nothing going to be able to save you. All right?
Today to talk all about this from Z Media, and who's been watching, of course, she has very keen insights into watching how all of this tracking across these countries around Europe, through Australia, the United States, are unfolding, and watching this legislation that's been moving. Great to see you, Maria. Welcome back to the show.
Great. You both again. Thank you so much for inviting me. These particular chips, I will say from the outset, I'm not that worried about the microchips, and I'll explain why. The uptake, yes, there were a few thousand people that rushed to do it in the beginning, but I think that pretty much after 2018, that slowed down a lot. There was the initial rush of, a few thousand that said, yeah, this is great, and we're probably paid to do it. But it's not something that's widely popular at this stage. What I'm more concerned about, truthfully, is an admission from MIT that happened in November of 2025. So a publication from MIT News actually reads, quote, new therapeutic brain implants could defy the need for surgery. Now, I'll read you a couple of quotes from this article. It is extremely alarming. MIT researchers developed microscopic wireless bioelectronics that could travel through the body's circulatory system and autonomously self-implant in a target region of the brain where they could provide quote-unquote focused treatment, because it's about treating Alzheimer's and things of this nature, right? Not covert operations, everyone. In a study on mice, the researchers show that after injection, these minuscule implants can identify and travel to a specific brain region without the need for human guidance. Once there, they can be wirelessly powered to provide electrical stimulation to the precise area. So a couple of things here. We're talking about self-assembling nanotechnology that can form brain.
Let me get this. This devil, sell you a dream to try to take this chip. Because once again, this is his ultimate plan. All right, it's on 55 and 20. He could tell you to do whatever. I seen one thing where they were talking about the cryopods where they can freeze your body and wake you up when things get better. And I was like, bro, you're nothing but a organ, body. They freezing you so they can take your organs, because we've seen that happen with the Rothschilds. You got these different transplants and things like that. All right. So anyway, Psalm 55 and 20 says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All this devil cares about is trying to establish his system, right, to achieve, immortality, or just to break away from Yahweh Bashmi Shah, as what is it, Psalms 2 says. Right, because what's coming for him is a major ass whooping. All right, this devil is in big trouble, and he knows that. Right, so he's desperately trying to rid himself of Yahweh Bashmi Shah and the anointed. All right, because he don't want this ass whooping that's coming for him. Right, but there's nothing that can be done.
brain implants that is, one, done through injection, so vaccines, and two, does not need any human intervention once it's been administered through the quote unquote vaccine. Now, we know, Clayton, that this is happening through geoengineering. Smart dust has been happening for a very, very long time. And we know that they can administer various types of nanotechnology that can be self-replicating, self-programming through vaccines and other medicines, and also potentially through our food. I'm actually far more concerned about the covert applications of this type of technology than I am about.
And that we're not really worried about it. Let me grab what is it? I think it's Jeremiah 54. No. Yeah, okay, right here. I want to grab 17. Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper." Right, and because this devil has a lot of things out here, right? But for the elect, right, those of us that trust in Yahweh Bashmiel Shai and seek to Him and depending on Him, none of these weapons are formed against us is going to prosper. It's not going to do no damage to us ultimately, right? It says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn," because we are the judges, right? Starting with the men, of course, the men are the judges. It says, "This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai." Right, so we belong to Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, and no one can shut no door that the Most High Yahweh Bashmiel Shai is open. All right. So, I just want to grab that "no weapon formed, shall prosper," because this devil come in all type of ways.
People going and implanting themselves. I dare say there could be quite a few people walking around with chips already inside of them without knowing it's actually there.
Right, and like the elder Pastor Har said, none of that smart dust or anything like that matters. We're not focused on that. We're focused on the one that they're gonna insert into your body, that they have to insert into you. All right, and that's that. I don't know if it's there. Let me see. So they have to insert this thing into your body. All right, as they showed in this video right here in the beginning, this thing, they have to put it inside your body. All right, with this device. That's why it's a thing imprinted, stamp, thing carved, sculpted. They have to cut into your body. All right, that's the Karagu, which is the M.O.T.B, the mark of the beast. But it has to be put into you with that device right there. All right, so that's the chip we looking at. This one right there. All right, they're gonna put into your body. Smart dust and all that. You don't worry about it. People talking about they dog got a chip in it. Maybe the dog can buy some lamb. And you got the smartphones. And the cards and all of that. None of that matters. All right, we're worried about the one that's gonna go into your body with this device right here. That they got to set up shop and put it inside you. Okay. Or the smart dust. Now, what can we do about that? Why the Most High set us up like that? That's the type of stuff he would do to Esau. Set Esau up for the kill. The Most High is giving us a way out. That's why it's a trial and a period, and a testing to see what you're gonna do. All right, we have a way out. Esau, there is no healing of what's about to come to him. Right, his wound is grievous. All right. So you can check this video out. Like I said, we pretty much been telling you about this thing, going back all the way to our elder apostles, right, the 1960s, bringing it out. Right, and we're here now, where this thing is right around the corner. Okay, all they're waiting for is this collapse to come, which is right around the corner. Right, Jacob's trouble and they're going to offer you a solution to all your problems, which would be this, but don't take it because that'll be end. That'll be the end for you. Right? You'll be burnt up in that fire. All right, so Lord willing, you edify from the lesson. Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.